actually hike quite a lot and walk pretty much every single day. And the Lord is just speaking so loudly, and I really just felt like getting on a live might be the best way to share what He's saying. And I'm just going to let Him lead this whole thing. I know that there are so many of us in transition right now, and He was just talking to me about, you know, a lot of times we think that because we feel like we've failed in the past when certain situations have come up or certain cycles have gone through our lives, and we feel like we failed in those areas, that the Lord is speaking right now and saying a lot of things that we felt like were taken away are coming back around again. And part of the past seasons was not to destroy what He was promising or what He was bringing, but it was to refine it. It was to prepare us to be ready to receive it when we were actually strong enough to carry it. And what He revealed was, we think that we've ruined things by making certain mistakes, and He already knew that we were going to be doing those things. And again, I've made a video yesterday. I've been talking about it a little bit, about God's appointed time. And, you know, He already knows what's going to happen and when we're going to be ready and what we have to experience in between and what mistakes we're going to make and what loopholes we're going to fall through and what we're going to get stuck on and hung up on and what He's going to have to teach us and what He's going to have to bring us into and out of. He already knows all this stuff. And each cycle that we go through, instead of allowing the enemy to help us or to make us feel like we failed, if we just look at it as a practice round, okay? Like each time we go through something, even if it's the same situation and even if we make a similar or even the same mistake, it should teach us where our weak points are. It should teach us where we still need to strengthen those areas. It should teach us where we are still falling short, where we need to shore it up, where we need to come into agreement with God's word about us and to learn the lesson, not hold on to the mistake, but learn the lesson and keep moving forward. And, he was just talking so much about transition and, how things are coming back around again for many, many of us. And this time he wants us, a lot of us, the time that it's coming around for what's coming around, it's not another practice round. This time it's for keeps. This time it's for real. This time it's because it's time. And we have to recognize and look at the things in our past that we've made mistakes on or that we have fallen short on and realize that we can't do that this time. We have to realize that this time is the appointed time. And God is preparing us in this season to receive what He has by showing us where we have fallen short. And it's not to condemn us, it's to convict us, it's to help us, it's to teach us, it's to grow us, it's to discipline us, it's to teach us self control, it's to teach us restraint, it's to teach us patience, it's to teach us where we need to see ourselves clearly and make the next best step, do the next best thing, make the next best choice. If we look at past seasons where we have come into a place where we feel like we have screwed things up, but we can walk away from those situations and circumstances with an understanding of what we need to do differently the next time, this is the time to do that. This is the time, this is the season to take the mistakes of the past and learn from them, because what God is bringing in this season, it's the appointed time. It's time for us to learn the lessons of the past and not hold on to the mistakes anymore, but to understand what mistakes were made so that we can learn from them and choose differently this time. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's not about making, no mistakes at all. It's about persistence. It's about showing up. It's about being present. It's about understanding what God is asking for us to do in this season, and it's to be prepared and to be ready. and to understand that what he is doing is major, what he is doing is big, what he is doing is what he has been promising, what he has been talking about for a long time, maybe years, maybe for some of us decades. Okay, there's been so much he's been speaking to me this morning as I'm walking about just, do you remember when I've told you this years ago? Just because I said it years ago doesn't mean that it's no longer valid just because time has passed, you know? Hey, everybody who's joining, I really appreciate it. This is a really important word. So if you're in transition right now, I really encourage you to just stay on and listen to what I'm talking about, because I'm allowing Holy Spirit to just lead here. He's been speaking so much. And like, I need you to understand that you are so seen and loved and known. And like, he's with you. I even asked yesterday, this is so crazy. So I'm going to just pivot for a second here because I feel like I'm supposed to. Yesterday, I thought I was going to be at the place I am right now. He took me someplace else and had me deliver a word. If you guys haven't heard that and you're in transition, you might want to go back to my channel and just check it out. It's not a very long word. And I asked him the other day to show me something specific. I asked him to show me, because he's talking so much about certain things coming back around in my life again. And I believe him. But even just a little while ago, he was like, sometimes it's not like this with everybody, but with me and with other people like me, our belief is what activates his promises. It doesn't mean that he can't do things without us believing, but sometimes for certain people, it's going to create more confusion and more doubt and more hesitation if he does really big things without us believing, because then we can like attribute that success to something else. We can give that something, we can credit that to something else besides him, and he needs the glory. So there are certain small things that he will do to like garner our faith and belief, because once the big things comes, he needs us to believe to be able to activate it. Now for other people, he might do really big things to get their belief, but for some of us, that's not how he created us. And for us to sustain the belief, it has to be built slowly over time, so that when he comes and does the big thing and we've been believing it and we've activated that through the belief, then he can show up. Now I say that to say this. The other day, I asked him I don't really like to ask God for signs, because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I don't need that anymore so much. And so, but I did ask him kind of like in my own personal spirit. I didn't say it out loud. I just said, Lord, if you're really speaking to me, can you show me orange butterflies? And today, as I was walking on this trail that I thought I was going to be at yesterday, but he took me someplace else, and I came here today because he told me this morning, he's like, go to the place you thought you were going to go yesterday. I was walking, and when I was driving past to get to the trailhead, I was like, ooh, I really want to walk through that canyon there. Well, this trail took me through the canyon. And as I'm walking through the canyon, he's just speaking so loudly, and all of a sudden I see 2 orange butterflies. I just started weeping. And he's so sovereign, and he's so faithful, and he's so attentive, and he knows what you need. He knows how to show up for you. He knows the heart's desire that you have, because he placed it there. And he fully intends to honor it. He fully intends to fulfill it, because it is a desire he has placed inside your heart for him to fulfill. I want to read some of these comments really fast. Joshua, that you hope your kids know that you did your best. You know what? As long as you know you did your best, at some point in time, whether they know it or not, the fact of the matter is like, that's really between you and God. And God will make sure that whatever needs to be known about your, parenting style or your family, that it will be made known. And there might be reasons, and there might be obstacles, and there might be challenges right now that you don't understand, and that's okay, because God is going to use it. Sometimes you have to accept things the way they are. I don't believe asking one way or another matters. He knows what we need and what he wants. Material things are worthless. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that to some point. Material things are worthless at points in time, but also material things help us build. Material things help us build the kingdom. Material things allow us to have the resources that we need to be able to do what God is asking us to do. I think that if you hold material things in a position above God, that's when it gets dangerous. Or if you do everything in your life with the motivation to get material things, that's where it can get dangerous. But I mean, we can ask God for material things, and he's willing to give them to us, because sometimes we need those things in order to be able to build the things that he's asking us to build. But getting back to what I'm saying is, like, You guys, in this season, we are really being asked to show up. We're being asked to be obedient. We're being asked to believe. We're being asked to sustain. We're being asked to let go of the things from the past that used to hold us back, because at some point in time, we are going to have to show up and know that we've overcome the things that used to really derail us, that really used to take us off track, that really used to screw us up. And there are certain things that, you know, there are certain things that we cannot take into this season, and God is asking us to just trust Him, that He's going to lead us and guide us into everything that we need to do and to know. But we have to listen to Him. We have to be obedient. We have to be willing to listen to Him and then obey Him without hesitation or reservation. Because when He asks us to do something new, this is one thing that He wanted me to talk about. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for reminding me. One of the things that He needs us to understand is when He's asking us to no longer look at the past, when He's telling us in Isaiah to not focus on the former things, but perceive the new thing He's doing. It's new. We're not going to know how to do it. And if we take something that's new, let's say He's bringing something around again, but it's renewed. He's bringing it around again, but it's new this time. It's not going to be the same as last time. It can't be the same as last time, because last time it wasn't aligned. But He's done the work in the space in between now. And it's going to come back new. It's going to come back renewed. It's going to come back in the way that it needs to come back, so that it can align with God's purposes and His will for your life. Okay? But in that, you cannot take the new thing and treat it like you always have. You can't take the new thing and treat it as though it is old. You cannot take the new thing and treat it like what's familiar. Okay? So this is like why it's so important in this season to really spend time with the Lord and to allow Him to tell you how to do things, because it's new. You're going to need new direction. You're going to need new instruction. You're going to need a different way to do things that you haven't done before. And it's going to feel clunky. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel uncertain. It's going to feel weird sometimes. It's going to feel like, are you sure? Because that seems very strange. Just listen. Just listen to Him and do what He's asking you to do. Sometimes it's a person He's asking you to give up on and you haven't been wanting to accept. Yeah, but here's the thing though about that. Sometimes He will ask you to actually give up a person and walk away from them, like close the door on that relationship for good, forever, because it's not aligned. It's causing distraction. It's causing delay. It's causing friction. It's taking you away from God. There are definitely times, because in my own life He's asked me to do the same thing. However, and honestly too, God will absolutely close that door. If someone's not meant for your life, all you have to do is say, Lord, if this person's not for me, close the door. Best bet He will. Usually within a couple of days, sometimes sooner, sometimes a day. Okay? But when He's asking you to let someone go, it depends on the context. Okay? It depends on the context of the situation. But sometimes He asks you to let people go because He needs you to focus on Him and not the other person. And He needs to do something in you. He needs to teach you, heal you, show you, instruct you, give you things that you need to have to be able to be successful, so that He can bring those things back into your life at the appointed time when it is ready. Think about Abraham. Abraham waited 25 years for his promise. I needed a lot of other things in the middle that screwed things up, but God still was faithful to His word and still gave Abraham what He had promised him He would, despite him asking him to give up Isaac. Okay? So we have to understand that God works in ways that we don't always understand and we don't always like. His timeline is hard to deal with sometimes. His requests or commands are difficult to do sometimes. But we have to understand that He is sovereign and that He is good, and that whatever He has for us, we're going to get at the appointed time. He's going to give to us at the appointed time, but we have to be ready to steward it. 18 years of not believing what's right in front of my face. Can you explain more of what you mean by that? What do you mean, 18 years of not believing? Oh, yeah, no, I hear that. That's rough. I mean, that's really hard. If someone is showing you who they are, then I think it is wise to believe them. However, even that, though, God sometimes will use the things that will not always make the most sense, you know? And sometimes, if someone is showing you who they are, it's not really who they are. It's what they're bound to. It's what they struggle with. It's what they are agreeing with. It's the darkness that they are agreeing with. It's not really them. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with dark powers and principalities. So when people are coming against you, it's not really the person, it's the spirit behind the person. We have to understand that. And I do think that if he's asking you to let it go, that there's a reason. There's a reason, and it is better to be obedient, even when it's really hard, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it hurts. Believe me, I understand what it means to let go of someone. I understand what it means to put it back in God's hands and to trust Him with it. And if it's meant for you, He'll bring it back. But if it's not, then He'll bring you something different, you know? And I really believe that it's true that when He asks us for something, it's important for us to give Him what He's asking because He knows what He's planning to do with it. We don't always know. Yeah, you can believe them, but you also need to start looking inside of yourself and understand who you are and what you're about and what God placed inside of you. And see, if this person or situations keep coming up and triggering things in you, you got to go back and figure out like where they come from and why and what it's attached to and what you need to heal from. And there are many, many things that we dispel onto other people or we dispose onto other people and not take accountability and responsibility for what we contribute to that. So we have to understand who we are, what we do, what we contribute to situations. And a lot of times when things come up or people show us who they are, it's because we're mirrors to each other. And that person is reflecting back to us something that we need to go inside of ourselves and look at, that we need to go inside of ourselves and explore or discover or heal or work through or accept or whatever it is. That's something that you got to take to God. Shadow work is something that I believe highly in, and I think that it's such a great modality to figure those kinds of things out, but you got to invite the Lord into that kind of stuff. God created us. If you're bullied, ignore them. Everyone is good in their own way. I mean, yeah, if you're being bullied, then obviously, like, you got to, like, let those kinds of people not affect you because, you got to pray for them and not let that affect who you are, what you're doing. You don't need to accept people treating you poorly, but you also don't need to retaliate or respond. I mean, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. He's going to take us where we need to go. He's going to take care of what we need to take care of. We have to be obedient to Him and listen to Him. If someone's bullying you, pray about it. Ask what you're supposed to do. Are you supposed to say something? Are you supposed to walk away? Are you supposed to pray for them? What are you supposed to do? Like, we can't take the knowledge of the world and just apply it liberally against everything. We have to go back to God. Always, yeah, He always does answer prayers, and we have to be diligent in praying, and we have to be responsive to His answers, and we have to be accepting of His answers even if we don't like it. And we also have to be listening for His answers because God speaks in all kinds of ways. He speaks in all kinds of ways. He speaks quietly, He speaks loudly, He speaks through nature, He speaks through other people, He speaks through language, He speaks through songs, He speaks through numbers, He speaks through everything. God made everything, and He will answer our prayers. When people say God doesn't talk to them or they don't hear the Lord, I honestly believe it's because they're not listening or they're not paying attention to what He is saying. They're dismissing it or they're attributing it to being something else. Thanks, an older Laura Croft. Awesome. Yeah. I absolutely believe that in this season, you guys, going back to what I started talking about at the very beginning of this, I absolutely believe that so many of us are in transition right now, and we must be willing to lay the things of the past down. We must be willing to not look backwards, look ahead, trust God that He's going to show us what we need to do, obey Him, even when it's weird, even when it's hard, even when we don't understand. Because if we're going to take the new thing, and we're going to treat it like the old thing, then we're going to recreate. It's going to be too easy to fall back into old patterns. It's going to be too easy to make the new thing like the old thing because it's familiar, it's comfortable, it's what we know, it's our default. But God is asking us in this moment, we have to trust Him for the new thing that He's bringing, the renewed thing that He's bringing back, and that we have to treat it like it's new and like it's different. Right. I mean, like I asked Him, Lord, if this is what you're speaking to me, will you show me orange butterflies? Now, I live in Colorado. I'm hiking on a trail. Are orange butterflies, like, and I even kind of chuckled in my spirit. I was like, haha, that's kind of an easy thing to do, God. So, like, because orange butterflies are, it's not like it's they're not around. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is on my entire hike, I've seen two. And that's, I mean, I could have seen a bunch more. I'm by the water. I'm on a trail. You know what I mean? Like I could have seen a whole bunch, but I asked him for something specific, and he gave it to me, just like I asked him to. And so I do believe that sometimes we can ask God for confirmation. If there's anything wrong with that, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking Him to show up in a way for us that we understand. But I also think that we need to start understanding how God does speak to us, and how He doesn't speak to all of us the exact same way. He will speak to some of us differently. He expects certain things out of certain people different than other people. That doesn't mean that we have to, like, if someone comes to us and says God said this, we don't need, if it doesn't resonate with our spirit about like how God speaks to us, we need to be very careful about telling that person like, well, God wouldn't say that, or God wouldn't do that, or as long as it aligns with His character. We have to understand that God works in a lot of different ways, and talks to different people in different ways, because we respond differently to different things. See, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, he will do it. He will do it. But He's asking us to do it too. He shows up for us. He shows up for us. So He's asking us to show up for Him. Because when we show up for Him, we're actually showing up for ourselves. When we show up for Him, we're actually showing up for His kingdom. When we're showing up for Him, we're showing up for our purpose. We're showing up for our promise. We're showing up for our future. We're showing up for His will for us. Yes. I cannot tell you how many times the Lord has been like, okay, like on Christmas Eve, or I'm sorry, New Year's Eve day. On New Year's Eve day, He told me to give up something that I have been waiting for, and that I believe He has promised me for many years. He told me to give it to Him and to let it go. It crushed me. I literally was like devastated, because it made me question everything. It made me feel so confused. And now months later, He's showing me, I had to ask you to give it to me. It's like Abraham and Isaac, okay? Like, I made a video about this on my channel just the other day. He's asking many of us to give things up. And I mentioned this, I kind of referred to this story. But I know that it was only for a moment. He was asking me to give it away because there were things in my life, in my spirit, in my mind, in my heart that needed to be healed, taken care of, understood, gotten rid of, let go of, purged, all these different belief systems, all these ideas. Like, I had to let certain things go so that He could bring things back renewed. And sometimes we do not like the answer. Sometimes we can pray and be like, God, are you closing this door? Or, are you and He might allow situations to happen that should, through our discernment, show us that this door needs to be closed. But we're not willing to close it, or we're not willing to, and we'll cause more problems for ourselves. We'll delay ourselves. We'll drag things on too long. We'll stay a place that we're not supposed to stay in too long. So yes, I think a lot of times people don't like the answer that God gives, even though He does give answers all the time. We just have to be willing to hear them and understand that He always has our best interest at heart. So I'm going to end it here. I really appreciate you guys sticking around, asking questions, engaging. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what I want. This is what I know that God is calling me to this for, because I'm supposed to be engaging with people about the truth of who He is, His character, His promises, who He says we are. And in this moment, in this season, you guys, I'm begging you to go to Him, sit at His feet, ask Him what He has for you, ask Him what He has for you to do, for what He has for you to let go of, and listen to what He says. Do not go into this new season trying to treat the new like you have treated the old, okay? Be blessed, y'all. I'm not sure how to end this now, but I'm going to try to figure it out.